Another day, just getting some practice. Bob needs to save at least $125. Get the inequality. You should have a variable, an inequality sign, and a number. Try it. What you got? All right, so she said x is greater than or equal to 125. Any variable would be good since it didn't specify. He needs to save at least. If you see the word at least, at most, that means you got the equals part of it. So you gotta have the line underneath. At least means that's the lowest you could have is 125. So you gotta go greater than, that's why it's greater than or equal to, okay? At least and at most are probably two of the kind of trickier ones to remember. Which value for x is a solution to that inequality? Sydney? A is correct. All right, so the kind of tricky part with these is if you go to solve it, you would add 7 to each side. So you would have x is greater than 25. A lot of kids see that 25 and they think, oh, that means the answer is going to be B. That's not how it works, though. With inequalities, that sign makes a big difference. Since it says greater than 25, 25 is not greater than 25. 27 is the only one on the list there that is. You could also go and plug in each of those numbers and see that way. Since the variable is on the greater side, it's usually going to be like the bigger number, so you want to try the bigger number first. There's always exceptions to that depending on like the order they put it in. But if the inequality sign's chomping at the variable, try big numbers first. If it's chomping the other way, try little numbers first, okay? Which inequality is graphed below? Need a variable, inequality sign, number. Robert? X is less than 2. What's the open circle mean? It's either going to be less than or greater than. There's no line underneath it, okay? If we had a line underneath it, that would be a filled-in circle. And then the pointy part of the arrow tells you what your inequality sign part should look like. Okay? These should usually be relatively easy problems to do. That's all you have to identify. Only way they get tricky is with the variable on the other side. So go ahead and graph that. So you'll need to tell me open or close, circle, and which direction we're pointing. Sarah E? Closed circle pointing to the right is correct. All right, I saw a couple people that had, well, everybody I saw that I could see their boards had a closed circle. I did see a couple that had the arrow pointing to the left. Who can tell me why the arrow points to the right? Ford?
Because the letter has to be on the left side.
The letter has to be on the left side. The letter has to come first. So we got to flip it around. So we'll look that way. When you flip it, if the variable was on the right, like it was to start with, and you flip it to the left, you got to make sure your inequality is still chomping the correct thing or the same thing, okay? Everybody clear on that then? That's the only way they can kind of make these tricky is by switching it around like that. So just always be careful for that. Pay attention to the order.